Right now, the time is 5:10, and OU still sucks. Welcome back to Just the Facts, y'all. My name is Jimmy, and we're about to do this Texas OU preview video like y'all read in the title. This is a weird game, man, this year. Both teams coming off a loss. First time since 2014. Oklahoma's unranked. Oklahoma is 1-2. When was the last time that happened? I don't know. When was the last time Oklahoma lost 2 games in a row? I'm not sure. But that's how it is heading into this matchup. We ranked 22nd. Both, it's safe to say it's pretty disappointing so far for both of these teams, especially OU, concerning the fact that their level of expectation is, to be honest, higher than ours. Over the last 4 years, they've been absolutely dominant throughout the Big 12. Not the case this year, though. Y'all thought Spencer Rattler was a Heisman candidate? Come on now. I tried to tell OU fans. They didn't want to listen to me. But I digress. Okay, let's get into this matchup. So as we know, Texas, I'm going to start with them first. Came off a 33-31 loss to TCU, right? And penalties were really bad. Yeah, we can blame the refs on some of those calls. Some of them were atrocious. We got penalties we got to clean up, man. Sam did not have a great game. TCU's defense was... TCU's defense is pretty complicated to figure out, as I see every single year we play them, except 2018. But every other year it seems like TCU just owns us, and our offensive production is way less. But I expect Sam to play better. And the lack of quarterback pressure, the lack of quarterback hurries, the lack of sacks, the lack of takeaways, it's something that's been pretty disappointing for me as a Longhorns fan the past couple years. So I want to see that taken to the next level as well. And as for Oklahoma, 37-30 lost to Iowa State. Oh my gosh. You didn't think the defense could get as bad as 2018, right? It might be this year. You remember that 2018 Oklahoma defense? They're winning games 48-47 and 45-48, and all these scores. Their defense might be worse this year, guys. I'm not sure yet, but it's looking pretty bad. And like I said in the intro, Rattler is not that guy. I'm not saying he's not good, because he's good. He was a 5-star and all that stuff. We get all that. He's not as good as Baker Mayfield. He's not as good as Kyler Murray. He's not as even good as Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts was a step below those two guys. It's not looking too good, man. And Oklahoma can't run the ball this year. We all talk about the quarterback play, but Oklahoma's been one of the better running teams in the nation over the past 4 or 5 years. And they can't run the ball, so that's another big problem for them. So let's start off with the Texas offense. How many points will we score? We're going to score a lot of points. I'll say that. Sam will have a bounce-back game. Under 50% completion percentage, which you rarely see now from Sam. Pretty much since his freshman year, you have a few spotty games here and there. I think the one versus TCU last year, he also threw under like 50%, 4 interceptions, of course. Now, last year, Oklahoma did give Sam some problems. Sam was still pretty efficient, threw for a whole bunch of yards. But the thing Oklahoma did was they got to him a lot. They got to him 9 times, in fact. Sacked up Sam Ehlinger 9 times. That's 9 times he could have thrown the ball for a yardage. Maybe a touchdown or 2 could have came from one of those potential plays, but it didn't. OU did a phenomenal job with their front line, but guess what? Those guys are gone. Kenneth Murray's gone, Gallimore is gone, and Ron Perkins is suspended. So those were pretty much some of their best guys in the front 7 last season that are all not going to be playing in this game. Oklahoma did a great job of like confusing our offensive line. They were weaving through our guys. They were stunting. They were doing all that stuff, and it confused our guys. It confused Sam. So I think for Oklahoma to be successful once again against Sam, they're just going to need to pressure him. Hopefully they have the guys that can step up in the front 7 and make some plays. Even some of the safeties in the corners coming off of cat blitzes like Radley Hiles, Trey Brown, whatever. They're going to have to do stuff like that to try to affect Texas's offense. But other than that, I don't really see a way they're going to stop Texas's offense. And if OU is going to play good in the front 7, our guys need to create some space on the receiving end. We will most likely have a full wide receiver group this upcoming Saturday. Jake Smith obviously is back. Jordan Whittington might be back. Josh Moore, where was he versus TCU? 0 catches. I think he got hurt though. Has like a bone contusion in his leg, I'm sure, but I think he's good to go. As for the running game, I want to see the running game get going early. Take that pressure off of Sam. Our running game gets good as the game goes on, but early on, we can't run the ball. We get 2-3 yards of carry, and then in the fourth quarter, we pop a 20-yarder with Keontae Ingram or Roshan Johnson, and it's like, okay, where was this in the first half when we needed it? And you just want to see that consistency from the run game. And one other thing versus Oklahoma's defense is, can we mix it up? Last year, they really had our number. I know I mentioned the sacks and all that stuff, but even when they weren't sacking Sam Ehlinger, they were still flying to the ball. Wherever Sam threw it, they're already right there. Those bubble screens that I always talk about, how bad they are, Oklahoma sniffed them out just like that. It was so easy for them to get in the backfield off of those running back flat screens and all of this stuff that is pretty predictable in our offense. Other opponents just tend to start catching on to it as the season goes on. That's why the offense kind of got worse as the season went along last year. So let's just mix it up. Throw some different plays in there. I know Tom Hummer will have a trick play ready. Whether it's like Josh Moore throwing the ball to Sam or something, Tom Herman will always have something and finish off drives. Not with field goals, but with touchdowns. Against an explosive offense like Oklahoma, as bad as I've talked about them so far, they're going to score points as well. And we just got to be able to score as many points as possible. We have to max out our possessions by getting 7 and not 3 or 0. Now, as for OU on the offensive side, like I said, Spencer Rattler is not elite like that. He's good. He's probably very good, but he's just not as elite as Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. He's just a step below those 3 guys. On the season, he has 10 total touchdowns and 4 interceptions already. 3 of them were against Iowa State. So it's proven that if you get Rattler rattled, he will throw some picks. Iowa State got him to throw one at the end of the game. They brought pressure. Kansas State, they were bringing pressure. He threw an interception. He threw multiple interceptions. He even threw some other passes that should have been intercepted, but they were right in the defense's hands. So we got to be able to capitalize on our opportunities. Like I said, we got to get the takeaways. So what I'm saying is we have to pressure him as much as possible. We have problems getting pressure on the quarterback. It seems like forever now, but hopefully going to this 4-3 defense, we get more pressure. We got some last week with Joseph Osai. He had a forced fumble on Max Duggan, but unfortunately, I think they recovered that ball. But that's what I love to see. Not just Joseph Osai, though. I want to see Omojo getting some run. I want to see Coburn getting some sacks. I want to see Tavondre Sweat getting in there. Spencer Rattler's athletic, but he is not like a runaround guy. If he absolutely has to, he will run the ball, but in most cases, he will not run the ball. He is definitely not the Kyler Murray type of guy to just kill us on the ground game. Our linebacking core is so beat up right now. We was already thin before the season started, but now Deli Odelwe just got hurt. It's going to be a big game for DeMarvion Overshown. It's going to be a really big game for him. He's going to have to really guard Stogner at some points in this game, I'm assuming. Like I said, Oklahoma does a really good job, not only with their running backs, but their tight ends as well. Over the past couple years, they had Mark Andrews. They had Jamichi Flowers, who was kind of a tight end / fullback. He was great for them. Jeremiah Hall is another guy they have this year that can do that for them. But Stogner, he's pretty good. I'll say this, Oklahoma's receivers aren't as threatening as they are in previous years. In most years, Oklahoma's receivers are pretty deadly. CeeDee Lamb, D.D. Westbrook, etc., etc. But this year, it doesn't seem like they have that guy. Hazelwood, I think towards ACL in the preseason. That new guy, Marvin Mims, I believe, he's been pretty good. He's made some plays so far, but I don't see anything too special out of this wide receiver group. And like I said with Oklahoma, they've been the most explosive offense in college football over the past 4 years or so, undoubtedly. But all the talk has been quarterback Heisman. Oh, Baker Mayfield. Oh, Kyler Murray. Oh, Jalen Hurts. They've been talking about those guys 24/7, but their run game is absolutely elite. At least it has been absolutely elite. Over the last 5 years, this is what Oklahoma's been averaging in the run game. In 2015, 222 yards a game. In 2016, 236 yards a game. In 2017, 217 yards a game. In 2018, 247 yards a game. 2019, 240 yards a game. Guess what they're averaging in 2020 as of right now? I know it's 2-3 games, but guess what they have been averaging on the ground? 122 yards total on the ground. That is so unlike Oklahoma. Yes, we talk about the quarterbacks all day long and how they're Heisman candidates and how great they are, but the run game is essential for Oklahoma's offense. And they're not running the ball like they used to this year. I know Kennedy Brooks opted out. He was an amazing running back. I would have easily expected OU to win probably the Big 12 again if they had Kennedy Brooks. He's that good. He's one of the top 5 to 7 running backs in America, I believe. But he opted out. Ramondre Stevenson is still suspended from the Peach Bowl. Whatever happened there, he's still suspended from it. So I think they got a guy named Seth McGowan who's been okay for them. 34 carries, 181 yards, 5.3 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns this season. He's not like a home run hitter type of running back. He's kind of a bruiser running back. And red zone D is going to be absolutely crucial. We can't allow them to finish off drives. We have to try to limit them to 3 points. Like I said, it's OU. Like, they're 1-2, but they're still going to score a lot of points. They're still going to get up and down the field. It's Oklahoma. I'm expecting that. But we have to try to finish them off with field goals and not touchdowns. We did a great job with TCU. We held them to 3 field goals in our red zone. So that really kept us in that game. Gave us a chance to win. But, you know, we gave up a touchdown late to Max Duggan. But the keys to the game, red zone defense. We have to hold them to 3 points. And we have to maximize our opportunities, finishing with 7 points. Third down is another big key. We've been a good third down team so far this season. We're a great third down team last year. I think we're top 5 in the country in third down conversions. But guess what? We don't have Devin Duvernay, who got a lot of those third down receptions, moved the chains for us a ton last season. Obviously in the NFL, we're going to have to find a way to keep moving the ball, keep converting third downs. I don't want to get to third down because that's where it gets a little scary sometimes, especially third and longs, of course. But we have to convert. I think the last X factor is our linebackers and safeties. Don't give up the big explosive plays. We've done a good job of that. The only explosive plays we've really given up is the plays we've missed tackles on. If we don't miss any tackles, which is unlikely, but as long as we're tackling and as long as we're not busting coverages, which we haven't really so far. I don't really remember busting too many coverages versus Tech, even though we allowed 60-plus points, or TCU. Maybe that one Duggan run at the end, that was a blown coverage probably, but other than that, we haven't blown any coverages. We've been pretty sound. It's just the tackling. The tackling got better like I expected to. So I expect to get big game from BJ, Caden, all these guys. Josh Thompson, all of them. Because it's going to be needed in this game. But if I had to pick a winner, I still don't have a winner, man. I really don't. I cannot see Oklahoma going 1-3. But I really cannot see us losing to this type of Oklahoma team. To be honest with you, and had to pick a winner, I'm going with Texas to win this game. Red River Rivalry, say that 5 times fast. I'm picking them to win by a score of, is it possible both teams get into the 40s here? I think it's real possible. 45-41, somewhere around there. I can see that going either way, though. I can honestly, all jokes aside, I can see that going either way. Oklahoma can salvage their season here by beating us. My thing is, I can see Oklahoma going 1-3, but I can see Spencer Rattler beating us. So I can see this going either way, but I have to lean towards the team. I lean towards us. Texas will win 45-41. And it's 5:37 now, and OU still sucks. Hook 'em.